Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our evening edition of Big Brother 22 All-Stars live feed spoilers. And in this video, we're talking nominations. The ceremony has happened. We know who's on the block. It's probably not going to be a surprise to anyone.
No, but we're going to talk about it anyways.
And we have a lot to be interested in terms of the next 24 hours or so. We've talked this morning about a little bit of a plan, and OTEV is coming, and we haven't even talked about OTEV on the channel yet.
Yeah, and I was kind of thinking maybe we weren't going to get him, but we did.
Fake spoiler alert, OTEV is actually going to be Dr. Will, who's just got like a theater mask on, and he's just going to be, I'm OTEV up here on the balcony.
I would love that.
Low budget for the win. But anyway, we'll dive into all of this stuff. But before we do, if you guys do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more. And if you want to support us further, check those links to the store and also our Patreon.
And also head over to our Instagram if you're not already following us over there. We have new photos up all about the new dog treats that we made today. I know it's super exciting, but we make Coco all her own dog treats. We don't buy them. So we put that up and the recipe's up there too.
Here's the good news. Because we did not have a David or Kevin HOH and they were not able to put each other on the block, I do not have to eat a dog treat on camera. And there is much rejoicing.
But these dog treats can be ate by people that's all the good stuff. It's peanut butter. It's got almond flour. It's good.
It's great for the dog, and it is healthy for the dog.
All right, so let's talk about the nominations. So Cody is the HOH, and the nominations are exactly what was everybody's thinking. So it is Kevin, it is David.
There is no surprise here.
No.
There was never going to be any surprise here.
No.
I do like the pre-nomination conversations that tend to happen, especially with somebody like Cody, who likes to think that he can run the show, so he'll have his meetings in the HOH room. And his conversation with David leading up to this was a lot of, I value you. Do you trust me? You got to know that, there are circumstances that are making all of this kind of hard for me. I'm in a hard spot, but rest assured, I've got you. You're going to be okay.
Yeah, and the thing is I think Cody really believes this, that, that he doesn't want David to leave. But it's hard because he is the HOH, so he's not voting at all.
Yeah.
He can't really control a lot of the game. Yeah, some people will want to vote along with what Cody wants, but he doesn't really have any real control over how the votes are going to fall.
It is a lot of just smoke that he's blowing up David in this conversation. That I do think he's being genuine, that he wants to try to protect him, but it's also like, if you really wanted to make sure someone is okay, you don't put him on the block. Like, I'm just saying that at this point.
Agreed.
David, he may not be the most intuitive Big Brother player in Big Brother 22, but I believe he is self-aware enough. He knew what this conversation meant. He knows that he's not exactly in a good spot in the game.
No, he knows he's not safe, and I do think that Cody wants to keep him safe, but he's unable to really promise that. The only way to keep him safe is to keep him off the block, and he's not doing that.
The conversation between Kevin and Cody was an unmitigated disaster. Like, I don't even need to describe this.
No, there was a lot of Kevin sad sacking, as he usually does during this game.
It was him coming in with Kevin's got like this gigantic blanket that he sort of carries everywhere, like he's Linus from Peanuts, and his body language is not good. And I think the thing is, and this is why, I had so much hope for Kevin before the season. Like, I picked him to win, and I'm like jumping ship now over to you and Enzo, where you've been all season long. But
that's right, me and Enzo.
It's just that he was so good at being able to sort of manipulate people in 11, and I think it's just the players are so much better this time around that, Cody, he may not be the most book-smart person in the house, but I still wager that he's pretty socially he's socially adept. He's able to sort of figure out some things. He can't be played by Kevin.
No, and Kevin, when he played before, he was actually playing with people, and the only person he was really playing with was Nicole Anthony, and she left week 2. Even when he was playing with Davon. He really wasn't. He's been trying to play with Danny and some of the people in the big alliance, and they are not playing with him. And I think that's been his biggest downfall, because I think if he could just had found a few people to be able to play with this season, this wouldn't be sad sack Kevin all season walking around with a blanket feeling sorry for himself. It would have been a different season for him, but I think being put up right away just threw him off his game. Then he lost Nicole Anthony. He just couldn't find his footing with anybody, and this is what the result has been.
Got a good analogy here. Okay, so does everybody out there know, like, are you familiar with Foursquare, the playground? Okay, so for those of you who don't know Foursquare, it's perfect game when you're like 7 and you're in like the outside on recess. You got to put a ball in one of the other squares that's around you and you're playing with other people. But at like my elementary school, this was like a social hierarchy where if you're in like the 1 Foursquare court, you're one of the cool people. And I would occasionally try to get in there and play, but then all the cool people would just gang up on me and just like spike the ball in my square. Kevin's ball has been spiked in the square time and time again, and Kevin never gets to stay and play Foursquare. Listen, I turned out okay. They did not scar me for the rest of my life.
Yes, you did.
When I am a billionaire, I am building a Foursquare court in the backyard.
All right, we'll talk about that later.
This is not my therapy, I promise.
Okay, so during this conversation, Cody sort of was also talking to him about, if you were HOH, would you be nominating me? And Kevin said he wouldn't. I mean, what's he gonna say? Yes, Cody, I would. But, don't worry, I'm never gonna win anything, right? No, of course he said, no, I would not nominate you. But, I mean, Cody has heard the rumblings of Kevin talking smack behind his back. So, I mean, Cody knows what the score is with this.
It's another reminder is that as much as I do want to root for the underdogs, and I will root for Kevin if he wins the veto and works this out and we maybe get Christmas on the block or something, it's hard to be fully in Kevin's court when he is like insulting Cody on a personal level behind Cody's back and not expecting anything to get back to him. It's just like Cody just knows that Kevin just doesn't even like him. Like, these two, are they going to have more than like 5 words to each other once this season is over?
Yeah, probably not. And this is where Cody's going to end up in a situation that if Kevin's on the jury and he is at the end, he's probably not going to get that vote.
Yeah, it's just these two, they don't have really anything whatsoever in common. They have no reason to really socialize. And just, even when Kevin is just walking up there, you can almost hear just like this wah, 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 like music that's playing, and Kevin's just like, oh, I gotta go do this now.
Yeah, but Kevin has made the mistake of talking sort of more personally behind Cody's back about Cody. He never needed to do that, and I think if he just hadn't done that, at least they would have just been kind of on the neutral. Nobody would be spiking the ball in a square. It would just be kind of neutral, and that may actually have just, evened it out a little bit more.
Let's talk about the have-not implications here, because this is something Kevin has brought up. Like, Am I a have-not so that I can be weakened and not do as well in the veto? They don't know it's OTEV. We know it's OTEV. Like, is Kevin on slop going to hurt him in this competition?
I think it is. And, they talked a little bit about that idea that he would be weakened for something like that. I mean, you need to be focused in this because you have to have memory. So if you're on slop, maybe you're not sleeping as well. You're not feeling as well. Your memory isn't as sharp. Then on top of it, it's also physical. This is a really hard challenge because you have to be on top of your mental game. You have to be on top of your physical game. And being on slop, I definitely think will weaken him. Prove me wrong, Kevin. I would love it.
Come on. Okay, this is the thing about Kevin, though, is that he has been almost taken out of this game like a number of times already.
Yep.
Kevin is gearing up to be very close to 9 lives, so maybe Kevin is just somehow, like, weirdly indestructible in this game, and even though he's not particularly good at anything from what I've seen, he just constantly finds a way to survive.
Yeah, the fact that he has found a way to survive so much, if Kevin makes it to the end of this game, he's got a really good argument for winning. The
thing I'm sort of playing back in my head here is that OTAB, especially with a season with Tyler on it. Like, it brings back all of the memories of, like, Rockstar completely screwing up OTEV and giving out. I just feel like something terrible is going to happen in the middle of this OTEV.
I hope not. I hope not. I love OTEV, so I hope not.
We just need fun. This is why Dr. Will needs to continue to be a part of this week.
Yes, it could be. I understand it's a little bit of a, a drier week. We got Cody. We know whose nominations are. None of it's a surprise, but having Dr. Will in there, having OTEV in there, there is some good stuff to look forward to.
This is the one thing to remember, is that Julie did say that the neighbor twist could shake up the game. Is just winning money shaking up the game, or is there actually something more of substance other than just humor for us that we're getting from Will? Yeah,
I'm hoping so. I mean, maybe she felt that the shakeup of the game is, we haven't seen it play out yet. So could it be, someone took the money so they weren't able to, maybe play for HOH anymore? They decided to go for the money. And that was going to be the shakeup, where it would be a situation where a lot of the Blob Alliance, the committee, were all just like, I'll take that 5. I'll also take $5,000. Oh no, we're all sitting on a pile of money now, and David's the HOH. I think that maybe that's what Julie was talking about, but we need to see it play out. I hope that Will's just going to be around all week. Like I said, he's local, so I feel like he can drive out there.
The new inquisition that is going on in the game is that apparently, we talked earlier, Tyler's got 5K. Mm-hmm. It sounds like somebody else won money as well from the HOH, and nobody really knows who it is. Nobody's confessing to it. I believe personally it's probably Nicole, because Nicole doesn't want to admit to anything in this game so far.
Well, there's also 2 other possibilities of people who I just don't think would tell anybody. And those are the underdogs. I mean, David doesn't have any friends in this game. He's not going to tell Kevin.
Yeah.
He's not going to tell anybody. We already saw that he won a power and told no one, and then did a terrible job lying about it. But he didn't tell anyone. And so that could be a possibility. Kevin, who's Kevin going to tell? I mean, maybe he would try to tell Danny to try to be like, hey, I trust you. But he's done that so many times. It just burned him over and over again that I like to think he's learned a lesson.
David, you get that money. If David. See, we have to do some sort of chant because we couldn't really get the Kevin momentum earlier. He's too much with the blanket and the sadness, Kevin.
No, I like Kevin all right, but I just am not enjoying him in this game. I want to root for him, but I just am having a hard time.
Let's turn to your guy Enzo here for a moment, though, because Enzo. Wait, we're chanting Enzo now? Enzo straight up.
Hey, he's my winner.
Okay, there you go. Enzo, he tells Cody, yo, if there's a money in the veto, man, yo, F-bomb, I'm going to get that money, yo. By the way, Cody is slowly turning into Enzo. I've heard him say, yo, about 1,800 F-bombs so far this afternoon. He even says it is what it is at one point.
Yeah, and it's a testament to Enzo's charm and this charisma that he has, that people are not only believing him, but they are starting to pick up his mannerism, pick up how he's talking. I mean, it's an influence.
There's another thing that happened, though, earlier. I heard Cody say, this is not chess, it's checkers, which I don't need those nightmares. Next thing I know, there's going to be a watermelon in the storage room. The stool is coming back, and we're all going into the underworld.
See yourself out.
No, well, we all lived it. We have all survived it. We are still here. So Christmas, I kind of wondered this with Enzo, beyond him wanting the money, yo.
Yes, which, of course he's going to probably want to go after the money. He's not going to want to win the veto.
Yeah.
If he wins the veto and decides to go and take, Kevin off the block, then it forces Cody to have to put up someone else. And they are in this final 2. He's not going to want to do that. However, if he can throw it over to someone like Kevin, then that works in his favor. Plus, he's got money. It all works out.
And that,
Enzo!
That could mean Christmas goes up on the block. We said earlier, it sounds like she's probably the replacement nominee. I think in Enzo's heart, he would like to see Christmas leave as soon as possible. This could be an opportunity to do it. Even Cody is sort of subtly, just not throwing Christmas under the bus, but nudging her closer to the bus, with even people like Tyler saying that she talks too much, spreads information around, like the 2 of them talked about Christmas telling Davon. that she was not going to have a vote early on. Like, the smoke is starting to form here.
Yeah, and a lot of this is going to sort of land on Tyler, where he's going to have to make a choice, because he has been riding along with Christmas for a while now, and there's a lot of people that are done riding with Christmas and they want her to ride out of the house. So if now Cody is coming to Tyler about this, and that has been one of Tyler's sort of people he's riding with, he is going to have to make a choice sooner rather than later. Because as much as I thought people would want to take her to the end because no one's going to give her the money,
Yeah.
I think people just can't live with her anymore. And I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that. I'm just going on some of the things that people have said in the house. It feels like they are unable to continue living with her.
I think there's also, it's like that, and also there's something that happens in Survivor a lot now too, where it's, oh, this person's for sure getting 0 votes at Final Tribal Council, so let's get rid of them. That way other people have a chance to sit in those seats, and you get rid of the GOAT. And I think at this point, Christmas is pretty much a GOAT in front of the jury, and not the greatest of all kind GOAT, the bad GOAT. And so with that in mind, I think it just makes some sense to get her out of there, and then you have a better chance of getting there yourself.
It's true. It's true, because if you do keep around somebody who's terrible and you know that you can beat them, then everyone's going to want to take them to the end.
Well, we'll wrap this video.
Like me. I would take Christmas to the end.
I don't know if I'm patient enough to take Christmas to the end.
Oh, I am for $500,000. I'll take anyone to the end.
See, I don't know. I may just want to hang out with Enzo, yo, and listen to him.
I do not want to sit against Enzo at the end. He's going to win.
Nobody should want to sit against Enzo at the end. He's too charismatic. It's too much of that. I don't know what it is, like Tony and Enzo. It's like these New Jersey people with the voices and the storytelling and the charisma. Anyway, we'll wrap this video up. And what do you guys want to see tomorrow with the veto, with OTEV, with Will? Let us know in the comments. And if you did like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and support us further by checking those links to the store, our Patreon, check out the Instagram, check out the dog treats, and we will see you here next time.